Well, we're back to finish up our beautiful lady. Hopefully we'll finish it up. This is part 2, the parrot lady. And I just wanted to show you, working on this color wheel, I think, how I am using it to find something other than the green and the peach to go another color to use in her their feathers and whatever else I'm going to do. So what color would go with these two? So the closest color I could come to was this F. So I put my little wheel up here to F, and we can see that this green is pretty close to being a correct color, so that's good. And F would be also a lime, kind of a limey green that would go with this. These colors would be okay to use. F would be also like a light teal, turquoise green, and F would be also okay to use like a periwinkle kind of a color. And an F would also be this shade. So what I do is I pick some colors and I try to match up. Okay, so like the periwinkle, that's a little dark. That's better. That's a little dark. So the closest I'm going to come is this one. So what I'm going to do with my little notepad is give it a little scribble. And I can see that it's kind of the same shade. No, it's not exactly, but it will work. So if I added this color into her outfit as it is, that would be a good color to accent also. And so the next one would be the F. Let's see, we did the F. So I'm looking for the F here. And you can also go into the triad colors. So this pink here would work. You could use this F, this gold. These are like, you have your main colors. Then you have those two colors mixed, and then you mix those colors with the next colors. And so it just goes out from there. And that's the best I can explain it to you right now. But all I'm saying is these corners, so this F, no, it would be this F. This would be a good color in here. This, which you could see it would work well. So this is how I've used it today to kind of see what other colors I might use to make my blending of these colors. So if I bring, and this is the only thing I don't like about Prisma, is I'm using polychromos, is I don't have the variety of color. So this F, the closest thing I think I could come to, and that's still pretty dark. And the other one, let's see, what is this? This is a sangria, I think. I'm sorry, it's just really, really hard. But these are the two colors that I would have to choose from. So I think what I would have to do, and this is even darker, and this is darker, is you would have to go over with a lighter color and then try to, because you can see how much darker that is than that. So you might want to maybe use, what, peach? Well, the peach is almost the color. The peach would be the closest to it. Do you see how all I'm trying to show you is how to use this wheel and get your colors to match up that you can possibly mix with your picture as you start. You pick a color that you like, or you start out even just kind of mixing it, and this will help a lot on how to pull colors that will make your picture look like everything is just perfect and all the colors are really good for what you're doing. Does that help? It helps me because it gives me more ideas to pull together colors that I might not have chosen before. So I think even if you have a little color wheel, the little color wheel is kind of the same thing. So you could match up your peach. See if you can find it in here. That's not quite it. Which I'm not finding that bright of a color. So let's go back to the oranges. And this helps mix your colors. Yellow, orange. I see the other one's just easier. I just really like that other color wheel because it makes more sense to me. So red, orange, it just seems easier than this one. Okay, so if you didn't see the other one, this is a color wheel that you get off of Amazon or maybe in a sewing shop. It's for quilting. Yeah, and it helps you match up colors that would go with your quilt. So anyway, let's get back to working on our little picture here. And where did we leave off? We did the skirt last, and I was going to bring in the green on the top, and I'm looking to see which green. There it is. I'm like, I don't see the green that we were using. We're using Earth Green 172. This is in the poly chromo shade. And I'm going to do this upper part of her lace in the green and bring it up to here is what I'm thinking of right now. So I will do the little edging in, see, we didn't like the yellow green because that's the one we used here, and we didn't like that. I didn't like that. But we used this permanent green olive 167. Wow, I like that. I can read that. So I'm just thinking I'm going to do the very edging in that color, but this I'm going to start out by doing the lighter color and bring that green up to the top. So it's kind of like we're becoming a dressmaker. I don't know. I did leave the link in, like I said, and for this, and I maybe I have those other 2 pictures that comes with it. You get 3 pictures for that $6 and whatever it is, and you download it and you print it out. Now I printed mine out on, I thought I had it right here. Let me get my pad. I think it's close. Looks like I moved it somewhere. It's on the very bottom of all my stuff. Okay. This is Strathmore Vellum Surface. And it's a very, very, very smooth surface. This is, you get 20 sheets, and this one is 100 pounds. So that's pretty much a heavier paper. And so you could watercolor with this paper too. You could print out, I would print it out on printer paper if you're going to watercolor, and then I would trace it with a light if you have the light, or trace it with your pencil onto here, and then go over it with your permanent. Make sure it's permanent, and this is the only one that I know of that is waterproof and fade proof for fine lines. And then go over it like that. And I would let it dry overnight, just because. You may not have to, but, and then you can use your Inktense watercolor pencils, because they are ink, and if you get them absolutely dissolved, they are permanent. They're not going to move around. And I heard you can use different things over them and under them. I got a little message about that. That was good information. So I had ordered a color book that was supposed to be this new beautiful color book that's for watercolors, and I was so excited. And to be honest, I was very disappointed because the front page looked like it was going to be a beautiful book, and it wasn't. It was all about to me, every page looked the same. It was just kind of like strawberries and I don't know. And the book was $27, so. Now you do want to put your little highlights in here. Start working them so it looks like a ruffle. your little debits. And it's amazing how much that makes a difference when you stand back and look. At first but it really, really, really does make it look like it's a ruffle, and it's very pretty. Okay, we can work on that more later. But right now we'll just get all these colored. And I am just pressing lightly. I'm just taking my time and filling it in. I bet there's something you didn't notice that I did. You're right. I sharpened all my pencils before I came on. Okay, so it's kind of like, let's see, where would this little ruffle be? Now we can see this one's easy because it's right here. And I can see it now. A little more. Maybe there. So we're just filling it in real softly and gently. See, I really like how that pulls that green up. Because you don't want to go overboard and put too many colors either. And you could leave this white. But we'll see. And we can also trim it in the, I call it peach. I'll have to look and see what color it is. I was looking up while I was downloading my morning stuff, because I have another channel. I do a Bible study on it. I was looking up the colors to use for her hair because I want her to be a brunette. So I started a chart that I made myself. And I will, and Chris, was it Chris? Yeah, I think it was Chris. Anyway, so I'm going to draw a piece of hair that curls. And then I'm going to come back, and these are with Prisma. And highlight and do the hair so that I have a chart that I can look at and just grab the colors. And I will turn it over and do the back side, and I will pull the colors for Prisma, or this is Prisma, for Polychromos, and do the same thing on the back. And I'll have to figure out a way where you could download this, which would be nice, huh? So I'll figure it out when I get it done. Because it's nice to have these charts. These weren't just her. There was a couple others, but that's where I started. I'm really thinking a light pink would be this, just done in a light pink. Maybe the cinnamon. I'll have to erase some of it that I've gone over. Well, we got one more day of cold, but today I think it's going to get up to 40. But it was cold. There was frost on the roofs, big time. I had to turn that heater up last night. My daughter was saying in Wyoming they got 3 feet of snow and they were digging out. She sent me some pictures. But Colorado's known to do that too. So let me get rid of this little green spot here. And this little tiny bit where I came up over. And I think that's just a skinny part. I am going to do something in the background. I just don't know what yet. I was just thinking, but I was thinking, this is what I was thinking. This would be easy enough to cut this out and have a piece of, you know, at Hobby Lobby, you can buy all those different pieces of paper, 12 by 12 and whatever they are, and find a piece that look like wallpaper even, and then put it back on top. And this wouldn't be that hard to cut out. That fussy cutting. But that gave me an idea for the background, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Let me try this. I don't want it dark. I just want it a hint of this color. And this is the cinnamon. Yeah, okay. And I've still gone over the line. I haven't erased it in spots. So it's going to kind of fade in and out. I think I'm liking it. I do want to bring some of that gold color in that the chart says would work good. Maybe into her feathers. Maybe her belt. a chart is so much easier for me personally to use on especially this kind of thing. I was thinking maybe we'll make the background striped wallpaper with thicker stripes. I'm thinking Victorian, a Victorian look. Okay, yes, 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 yes. I like it, don't you? It's not bright. It's not like it overpowers it or takes away, but it definitely is a touch of elegance. Mm. You like that word, elegance? She is a very elegant lady, though, isn't she? You know, when I first get different pictures, I think, oh, come on, that's not that great. And then I start working with it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's really pretty. When I was looking up exactly where to find her, because sometimes it's hard to find them. Then I started looking at other ones. I'm not into the pointy ears or the nasty little. I'm just not. But I like pretty things. Things that make you feel good. Not. There's enough ugliness in the world. There's sure a lot of ugly things that people draw. I personally don't like them. This is just so much prettier. But they had all kinds of little, if you look through it all, they've got all kinds of things that you can do. I was looking up those Highland, West Highland, I think they're called cows, the real hairy ones. And for my daughter, I'm thinking what to do with this here. We could do with the cinnamon, just go across the top. You know me, I'm making this up as I go along. I don't have a plan. Okay, and then we're going to do the bottom one. I'm going to press a little hard so it gets darker, so that it definitely doesn't just fade into her top. Because I don't want to add a bunch of colors to this dress. I want to keep it pretty simple. I'll do the little one right here. And in these little holes, we're going to make it skin color, and we'll do her hand. So it'll look like, because they did that a lot. And we still got to do the center of a couple of these. And I'm thinking of what color to make them, so I'm just saving them till the end. I'm thinking this ruffle we're going to make green. and the one above it green. We're just trying to separate our colors, but use these colors to get it. That was kind of hard there to see. I want to go. Okay, I like that. I'm just still debating so we're going to leave those for a minute. And where's my color chart for my skin to make sure I use the same colors. So again, we're going to use, I think we're going to start out with the red beige 132 in these little holes. And this is the cinnamon. 132 beige red. So I'm wondering, I don't think so. I don't think so. So we're going to just start out coloring her little hand. We don't need the real light, or do we? That was the ivory. So the end of her fingers might be, we'll just do that, maybe right in here. The highlights. Okay. We only have to do one hand. We'll come back and darken where it needs to be darkened. We're just gonna go over this, and it still leaves that highlight, which is nice because we went over it with something lighter. And this will be the color we'll use in here. And then we need our cinnamon. So we're going to darken it where he's in her hand. And around the ruffle and on the very bottom of her hand. We're going to fill that in. I'm probably not allowing you to see, and I'm sorry. And we're going to darken her little finger right there. And right on the back side. Okay, let's leave that for now. And let's come in here and fill these little spots up like her skin is showing through. And then we'll come in and put a little bit of a shadow. I need a sip of something. Okay. Just fill each one in. It's so much easier when you make charts that you have things to follow by. Now we're going to take our cinnamon, okay, and we're going to start from the bottom and just make that little, and on the top, just a little bit. So the bottom and the top. So you're just barely leaving a little highlight in between. And then we'll come back in with the lighter color and blend them together. And I'm thinking what color to make her sleeves. I'm sure by the time we get to them, I will know what to do. So some of these that are bigger, I'm going around the side. So, yeah. And we'll go back. Let's try using the cream and just go over the lighter part. And that leaves, oops, I missed that one. That little highlight in there. Okay, that will be her skin. And we'll do the same to this side. It's such a tiny little hole. So this one I just want to go back and forth over the top. Whichever you do all of it the same on the top, or if you do it on the bottom, do it all on the bottom. I'm not always 100% accurate on my shading, which should be. But I try. Okay, so now we are going to, oh yeah, here it is. I forgot which side we just worked on. I know. It's tough getting older. But I've always been a little bit in low gear anyway. I'm quick to get my job done, but I'm not always. I'm still thinking. I don't like that either. I don't think that's what I want to do. I'm just thinking if I'm doing her, I'm going to do her hat kind of in a goldy color, and her belt, and maybe we'll come in with that in that. So I don't know if I really want to do this with the cinnamon or not, because then it's going to kind of, if you do real light, you can kind of test it and see if you like it or not, and I don't. It's too much the same as her skin. So I'm thinking I'm going to go back to my green. And do her arms. Darken it right here at the top and where it's close to her, and then pull it out. Yeah, I think that's the best choice really for what we're doing, to get it to stand out. I'm just making her little elbow darker. I think I like it, don't you? I mean, it does. Somebody who really knows how to make things look sheer would probably do much better with this. But I know I don't know. That's why I'm turning it around and around. Where do I want to go? I don't know. She is turning out pretty. I love going to Goodwill and finding frames. You can pick up some really pretty ones. A lot of people don't think about changing the picture. Or if they're scratched or something, how to fix them. A lot of times I change them all together. Also was into the air dry clay and got some molds and stuff, and I made some really cool picture frames. Which were fun to do, and they're on the wall. It's like when you take diamonds and mix them in with crystal. You don't know which ones are real or which ones aren't. I'm not a fancy lady anyway. I'm not saying I don't like to look nice, but my sister is the fancy lady. Just not into needing certain things. Look, it looks real, doesn't it? Okay, let's do this little edge while we're here. When I worked in the dress shop, I dressed up all fancy and pretty. But that was a different time. I think we all go through different times in our lives where things are different, and sometimes you just have to go with what time of the life and where you're at, and just be happy. Right now, you guys and coloring just makes me happy. I really like that. I think that just did really good. I like it. And I like that we put the skin in those little holes. I don't know what her intention was, the artist, but I've seen enough Victorian to know that it's amazing how beautiful their clothes were. And you would think they wouldn't have had that kind of knowledge or know-how to make things that pretty. But I'm sure a lot of it was how much money you had, whether you had the wealth to do it or not. But still, it was just amazing to me. This is really easy to color on. It's a hot press vellum, 100 pounds, Strathmore. It's really not that expensive unless you're doing these pictures 5 and 6 a day. Sometimes it feels like I'm doing that many. Wow. Green is a color I really like anyway, so I'm just softly coloring this over and over until it's filled in nicely, until it looks like velvet. Now, I wouldn't be making these long of strides with Prisma, because it doesn't fill in, and it might be just different papers, but it doesn't fill in as nicely as this. You would have to really go back and work to cover up all the little pencil marks. So this one will give it kudos for that. I was thinking you could even come in here with little dots, like little buttons, if you wanted to. make your little V's come out. I'll make that look like it's got a little wrinkle in it. I've been getting a lot of questions about what kind of tape did I use? Where do you get that white tape from for your books? All it is medical tape. I don't know if I showed the picture. Get it at Walmart off of, I think it's by Johnson & Johnson, and it's a 9.1 meter, 10 yards, adhesive tape, waterproof, and it's just that little skinny tape, but it's almost like a paper in some ways. But it's just the stuff that you find in most emergency kits or whatever, and that's all it is. So if you were wondering, that's what I use in my books. And on this roll, I did all 4 of my books, and I still got quite a bit. You can't really tell because this is a plastic, it doesn't come loose. But anyway, that's what that is, if you were looking for that, because I put that down in my books so that I'm not numbering on my book. One of them I already did, but I can change it by pulling that tape up, and if I use my books for something else or rearrange them, I just have to pull that tape up and redo it. So I think I got that from Karen. I think it's called Zucchin Kitty. Zucchin Kitty. She is one, if you haven't seen her, she is one amazing, amazing colorist. And what amazes me is how she just changes things. She ignores things, and she makes everything just turn out so, so pretty. I'm going to come in here and darken these. Get rid of some of that green. I just don't like that other shade of green. So I'm going to press down hard and try to make these to go away. I'm not going to be able to make them all go away, but enough to pull that color out and blend it in a little bit more. I should have used, just so you know, I should have used like a brown to come in here and not that green. I wasn't thinking. I was just thinking, but I wasn't thinking right. And it's not working. I could probably erase it, but I'm not going to do that either. So let me see. Let me try something that's not so dark. Let me try this. And I'm just going to make that line. Not that, just follow the line. Yeah, that's exactly what I should have done, and I didn't. I messed up. It's my fault. So this is Burnt Umber 280. And I bet if I go back over that a little bit, that would really take some of that green out and just give it a better shade. So I'm just lightly going out a little ways and back in, out and back in. And it's going to make that look a whole lot better. And this should be going that way, not that way. In order to make that plate look like it's in the front and not the back. I got that one a little bit dark. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to have to, you don't have to do anything. I have to fix this. And so that's what we're going to do. Okay. So I want the dark on this side. I'm going to pull it on this side, on this side. And this side needs to go off that way. And I'm probably making it too dark. So you could use even a lighter color. And just go over it. Soften that color out a little more. And I think I've gotten rid of most of that yellowy green, which I didn't like. Just trying to blend it out. I don't know if that's better or not. Come along this bottom edge. Clean up where I went over my lines. And I could take my little eraser Where's my white? There it is. See if we can't make a little bit of a highlight on the top here. Not a lot. It's pretty heavily. Already waxed. Well, it's oil. This is oil, not wax. So I'm just blending her little skirt in to make it look more like it's full and it's not just a straight little skirt. And the white will give a highlight and then just soften it up around the edges. Just keep working until you get it the way you like it. Don't give up, even if you mess it up, like I kind of did. And I'm just taking this white and I'm blending it back out. But I'm just trying to make it look like this ruffle is flowy. And I want that highlight on the top. And then I'm just using this to kind of blend it all. And pretend like I didn't make this look bad. Just never, 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 never give up. Just keep trying, keep working it. Okay. I'm happier. And where's my green? I just want to go back over it one more time. With my favorite color, earth green. I think when I reorder pencils, I definitely will get a few of this color. Because I like doing flowers, I like doing all of Joanna's books. There's lots of greenery in that. I'm not going over my white. I'm trying really not to go over the highlight part. I'm just kind of blending all my color, making it darker again in spots and letting that white still shine through. Okay, that's the best I can do at this point. A few little places where there's needs to be blended a little more pencil on it. There's some little white spots, but we're gonna leave it. We're gonna leave that for now, okay? All right, we've come this far. Oh no, I'm gonna have to turn the video. That's okay, I can do it. I don't know what I do, but I do that. I filmed the video, the whole video going this way. But I'll fix it. It'll be okay. I know how to do a lot of fixing now. And at least if I have to do it more than one time, I am going to remember how to do it. So now I wanted to find, where's my little color chart? We're going to do her hair in brunette, and let's see, we did it in F, so we can do a lavender, we can do the periwinkle, let's see, I think that was a color that we'll use for one of the feathers. And it also says here we could use, and I decided that was pretty dark, and I decided this cinnamon, yeah, would work for that. And F is a kind of a, but I don't really want to put that color pink. I don't want to put that color pink in there. So maybe F is a lavender. Let's see. That one looks like it's pretty darn close. Where's my little? Okay. So I just don't think that's going to work in there. If you just barely try it, you can try it. Okay, we use this on that. So I'm wondering if we went really light. Just to fill it in. I think it would be better than, this is the cinnamon, really light, because we pushed down really and made this one part darker. Well, let's try it. I just don't want to add unless we left it white, or maybe a creamy white. In there. I told you I'm really handy with this little. So maybe we will. Let's do the creamy. And I need to fill back in where I erased it. And we will do the creamy white. It's not creamy white, it's cream. And in case you missed it, it's 103 Ivory. I think that would be better. Than adding a color. And we'll do the same with her. And this is going to kind of be not a pure ivory, but it's going to look shaded because we went over it and erased it. And right there, I think we missed that little spot. So let's do this in ivory. and this little spot. What do you think? I am saying I like it. Sorry, I was using my paper to shoo away the crumbs. So I'm going to go ahead and do this ruffle in the ivory, because I keep saying white. But now it's just, I'm just not ready to add more color to this picture. I keep thinking that little bird is white. And I'm thinking, oh no. So if you're going to do white, you're going to have to add some grays and to him and just go backwards. To make his highlights. Okay, I don't know about you, but I liking the cream better than and on this little sleeve here, we needed to make this darker. So I'm pressing really hard. I want it darker. I don't want it to be, I just like that, see? Just a little bit of pop. And we could come back in here and darken this too, a little more. So now this was as good as if we were the seamstress. And in here, darken a little bit where we've gone over it. And where else? Oh, here. I can hear you saying, right there, right there. Now, if you wanted to go over it a little bit with a color, you could, like, and make it lighter. And I think we're just going to look at it for a while and make sure that's what we want. And what I'm thinking is, do we want to make the belt cream too? Just to bring that color on down. And somehow we could use it in her hat. And what would be a very, very light color? Oh, we got that burnt ochre. It's what we used around the side of her face. So let's just use this real lightly around her belt. Just to use it for the shadow color. Come out just a little bit, really, really lightly, because we don't need what do you think? So should we work just a little bit on some of this? Just on the very, very, very edge. See, it's just one step at a time. You don't know where you're going, but you're going to get there. Just think about it. Don't do anything if you don't know. And you saw how many times did I erase? Nope, that didn't work. So you just have to try it. I like that. And it's such a light. I had to get a drink. I guess I don't have to tell you what I'm doing, do I? In behind the scenes. Okay. So the green is dark enough to where if we come off into it and up a little bit, it's only going to show in the cream. And I like that. That just adds more dimension again. And that's what we want, is dimension. So maybe just a little bit under this green. Almost like a little shadow. And just to say it again, this is Ochre 187. I think it's burnt ochre. And we are using polychromos pencils. I did have to get a few Prismacolors out and do that. I have the other chart too for Poly, and I have them over there out of the way. I can't even grab them. They're out of the way because I wanted to work on the charts and do the skin colors. I've seen some really cute little African American young people in the color books on Etsy that I would really like to try to do the skin tones. So if any of you are African American or just love African American people, which I do, I admire what they've been through and I admire who they are. And there's some crazies in our trees, but we're all family in God. God loved color, and that's why he made us all different colors. What do you think? I think it's starting to really come together. But the more shading you do, the prettier your picture becomes. So let's I don't know why I'm avoiding the hat. I'm avoiding the hat. But I think I like the shading color and the cream. So let's just start with this burnt ochre. And I'm going to start it in the darkest areas. Just like I did the skin. Where this shadow is, I'm going to make it the darkest part. I don't know what color we will go to next. And maybe we'll do the whole thing in this color and come back and darken the rest of it. I'm anxious to try the hair because if you look, there are pieces to this hair. There are pieces, and you're going to follow the pieces, and you're going to follow the dark, this is the highlight and then the dark again. So no, I haven't done hair before. I just watched some videos like you all do. And like one person said, it's time to get in there and do it. So do like I used to do. If you don't want to, I just turn on a video and somebody coloring and listen to them while I color along. And if they say something I want to hear or see, I just look up and see what they're doing. And then I just listen and keep on coloring. And I have my friend with me. I do that a lot with, I've done a lot with that. I don't have as much time to watch as many videos. But with Kitty, Zuchin, I think it's Italian. I'm not sure what Kitty. Her name is Karen. And Petra Hewitt. Those two are my very favorite videos out of every single person. And then is Chris, and I've watched some of Joanna's. But as far as really learning and wanting to be like my heroes, those two are my heroes. They are just amazing. They have an uncanny knack for how they do things. And we're going to come back in here just like we do with everything else, and we're going to deepen just like her face. We're going to deepen her hat colors and shades and until we get it to looking. I just love this dress. I really wish I wouldn't have put that green in there. But I did, and then I mean, you can erase a lot of times, but sometimes if you erase, you mess things up too, and it won't be the same. But you can erase anything. I've erased the whole picture. Not huge, but it was just too much. I just couldn't get it right, and I didn't like it, and I liked the picture, and I wanted it colored. I want it colored right. So I just erased it and started over. No, the whole background of everything didn't come off. But the picture ended up. And I don't even know which one it was that I did that to show you that it did turn out, because I don't remember. It's a good thing we don't remember sometimes. All right, now I'm just going in heavier right around her face. Because it's a shadowy. And up here it's really dark. And I'm just going to continue, and there's a sharp end. I don't want to do that, use that sharp end, because that pointy part has way too much color in it. That's why I was listening today, is keep that white sharp so that it gets in there and puts down lots of color. So you just take all the little hints and all the little things that you're learning and put them all together. You put them in your little noggin and know that they'll come out at some point and you'll use it. I cut out outlines a little bit. I think the erasers that came with this particular one are kind of cheap. They are chunky, but they came with the eraser. I do have better erasers that I can use when I use up these, or replace them with a better brand. I'm just trying to make that little brim darker. Than the rest of the hat. These feathers are going to be fun. Everything's a challenge, but they will be fun. Because it'll be adding more color. And I think I definitely want to make kind of put the same colors into this. It'll almost look like hair, I guess. But we'll give it a shot. Just because you haven't done something before. Just remember what it looked like. Find your picture. Go by that. I've done that so many times, and that really helps. May not look identical to that, but it'll look so much better. I think I'm just gonna keep filling this in. I'm not pressing hard, I'm just filling it in. And then we can come back with a little bit darker color. And go over the last little bit of the hat. And we still could make that felt brown if we don't like it cream. I have to look up this little bird. I'm sure he's white, but maybe I can make him different colors. I don't know. But I was thinking those little birds that look like him are usually white. I remember Somebody had brought some in grade school, some birds, and one of them was like that. He must have impressed us because I remember him. My son used to raise birds. He turned the garage, half of the double-car garage, into wall-to-wall birds. A huge cage for the parakeets. He had all kinds of birds. He really, really enjoyed that. He got to know all the crazy bird people. We went to this one house because I was going to buy him an African gray bird for his birthday, and he found it. And we went to this couple's house. You couldn't get in the kitchen. The only living area they had was in the living room, 2 chairs by the TV. And the basement was full. The bedrooms, I don't know, didn't get to go see that. We didn't go in the basement, but ooh, look at how pretty. But in the kitchen, I don't even think they cooked. There was cages everywhere. It didn't smell. They kept them very good, evidently, because there was no smell. It looked they were all cleaned up. And I think we bought the bird from them. And I know he took in a few refugees that needed a home, and the people were tired of them because they live forever. He had 3 German Shepherds. Isn't that pretty? It looks like a felt hat, I think. So, let's see, I'm trying to find one that's just a little bit darker. Let's try this. What is this? This is a brown ochre, so I just want to darken it. Yeah, this is good because it takes a little bit for you to even see it. So I'm just trying to go along this black line right now and darken in there. Okay, let's go down in here. I got out of line just a little bit there. I just want to, just a little bit shadow pulling up. For now, just to see where we're going to go with this. But definitely want to, and this is coming up, so we don't need, I think we don't need a highlight all the way around here. A dark one anyway. So the dark one needs to go down in here and down in there. And just a little bit of this rim. I just want it to stand out so that you can see that the rim is there. We don't need to just darkening, darkening, darkening a little bit at a time so I don't go overboard. So a little bit at a time. She does look like an elegant lady. Okay. Let's do a little bit more here. And I really want to pull this up just a little bit more and darken it just a little bit more right around the edge here. So it looks like it's kind of rolling up. And the color is so close but darker that it is just kind of blending in. Okay. Let's see. We got some more time. Okay. I'm just thinking I'm going to darken this just a little bit. Okay. Wow. I really do like her. And I'm thinking just on the edge here, I want to darken just a little bit more, just around the edge here. Just a touch. We've already went. Okay, so we're going to do it on the top, on this one. I'm just adding a shadow, that's all I'm doing. I'm just a teeny little shadow. And then I'm going to take my beige and just blend those together, all of them. Just to soften it. Sometimes you don't see what you've done, but if you didn't do it and you look at the same thing, you will know that you didn't do underneath what you So adding the colors, layers of colors, makes a big difference. So let's work on her feather. I'm going to just work on this one here. And then I think we will finish this up in video 3. Because I definitely don't. Oh, there they are. I was looking. Where are the other colors? Alright, let's work a little bit with all 4 of these colors. With the salmon, with the alizarin crimson, I think it says. The red, the beige red, and the cinnamon. And so, I'm going to just barely put a little tiny bit of this in the very darkest, just like we did the flower. I just want it a little taste of it to go in the very deepest, darkest parts of this flower or feather. And it's probably not going to even show much, but if my sister's listening, haven't heard from you for a little while. Are you okay? Gonna have to give her a call. But her daughter came to visit her, and I don't know if she's still there. When you haven't heard from somebody for a while, when you're used to them calling, you get concerned. At least I do. I just want to know that everybody's okay. Are you all okay right now? Okay. I'm okay if you're okay. So what's the next darkest would be this color here, whatever color it is, salmon. So let's just go kind of just a little bit more than we did with the red. And just pull it around. We've got to color with the way a hair grows, the way the fur grows, the way a petal grows. You always go in the same direction. There's times when you can do just a little bit in any direction once it gets to a certain point, but it turns out so much prettier when you really lay the colors down in the right directions. Okay. So I'm just following the directions of this feather. I'm doing this because this is what seems right to me, so I'm telling you what I'm doing. Okay, so now our next color would be the cinnamon, I think. Yep. Okay. Now, if you're using polychromos or whether you're using Prisma, just find the color. Find the closest color if you're following along in any of your pencil sets. Just find the closest colors and it's going to turn out pretty. It might be a shade here or there. It might be a little more brighter here or there, whatever. But just you don't need to have the same exact pencils I do. I'm still paying on most of mine, a lot of them, because I wanted to start me a YouTube channel. I just wanted to show and teach how to do this. So whatever you can afford, that's what you use. And they'll turn out beautiful. Okay, so I'm just following the way this feather is coming down with the last color, which is beige. And then I can come back in and give it more color if I want. Add whatever I want because it's a lighter color feather. And I think it looks pretty. And I'm thinking it needs a little more color. So I want to actually use the color that I used in her dress. I don't think it was salmon, was it? It wasn't the cinnamon. Maybe it was the salmon. It's funny when you turn your picture in different directions, you'll see spots that you've missed. Almost like it's, I don't know. I just think that's kind of weird. All right, so I'm going to go back over this, just pulling lines. I'm just pulling lines. I'm just pushing and pulling. So like they're feathers. Because there's enough down now. But I'm not trying to color it in. I'm not trying to make it solid. I'm just trying to make it brighter. So I'm just pushing and pulling. Or should I say pushing and lifting? Don't cover up every single light area. See how it gotten darker? Now we can, I'm going to use my ivory and do it again. Just so it will give it more. Me and my pencils. Just so it'll give it more highlights. And it's going to start blending it all together. But just keep, like you're making marks. Lift your pencil and pull it. Lift your pencil and pull it. And then just kind of make it like that where it needs to be. Like this is curly, so I'm just going to kind of make it curly. Because it really does help to go in the direction of whatever it is that it's supposed to. I'm just looking at it, deciding if I need to do something more. It still looks a little drab to me. So I'm going to just like you would do hair. I'm going to fill in a few spots. Not the whole thing, just a few spots. Just to give it a little more color. And I'm going to go back to my I don't think I used this one. This is the salmon. I'm going to just really work some salmon into that to brighten this up. But now it's starting to darken, and I don't want that. So let's try. Taking a little bit of it out. And maybe we needed to go the other way. Make sure you clean the end of your eraser off, because if there's a little glob of bloop, okay, I'm liking that better. Now let's look at it. I think we're going to leave it for now. My thing is, if you don't know what else to do, leave it. I like it, but let's leave it in case we need to do something else to it. I'm just trying to get all the little stuff off. And I think let's call it a day. And we'll do the bird, her hair, the 2 feathers, and her background on the next one. Because I just, I want to have time and not try to hurry. So here we go. Please, if you like it, give me a thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing, just give me a little thumbs up on that. And if you haven't subscribed, please help me build my channel by subscribing. You're doing a great job. A lot of people are subscribing, and it just make this old lady happy. So, if nobody's told you today that they love you, from the bottom of my heart, I want you to know that you have great value and you are important. You are important. Don't let anybody try to tell you you're not. You are. There's people around you that need you. Whether it seems like it or not, just encourage each other. Encourage and lift up people. Okay? I love you guys. Thank you. And I'll see you tomorrow. I'm already got a different thing to do. I'm anxious to get this done and then start a new project. So, good night.